All right, without further ado, it's the moment you've been waiting for, folks. It is time for the Battle of the Coaches. Now, before we kick things off, I'd like to introduce our dynamic CEO from Windsor Mortgage by the name of Chris Vincent, who leads teams nationwide with a bold, growth-driven approach, challenging the status quo and bringing fresh energy to the mortgage industry. And you probably heard him on one of his Coaching with Chris episodes, inspiring loan officers everywhere to level up. He is the perfect person to keep this battle of the coaches moving and our coaches on their toes. Friends, let's make some noise for Chris Vincent.
Whoa, I was just getting into the movement. Listen, you know why I do Battle of the Coaches? Is because I'm trying to make learning fun. And I want to bring 4 amazing coaches that are currently coaching in the industry today that are making a difference with loan officers' lives right now. And as you heard Barry talk, we're heading into a really, really exciting moment. And so being ready for 26 is a big topic we're talking about, and it's a big topic I want you guys to be able to think about. For those of you guys joining us for Facebook Live, welcome. We're excited to have you. However, everybody in the room, do you have a phone? Raise it up real quick for me. Cool. You are controlling who's going to win Battle of the Coaches. So you're able to vote. And the rules are that you get to vote up to 2 times, and you get to vote throughout the whole Battle of the Coaches. So make sure you pay attention. You can see it up here. The trick, because I am not a big techie person. The trick is when you text or use the code, you are taking the letter of the first name of the coach. So Amir, you would just type and text in A. Everybody good with that? Okay, cool. Well, if you're ready, I want to introduce you to these 4 amazing coaches. And first, I have to start out with the reigning champion, Amir Saeed. From his start, this is what I love about Amir. Telemarketing to more than $1 billion in personal production, Amir now leads co-founder and CEO of Go Coaching, helping loan advisors nationwide grow their business and win. Welcome, Amir Saeed. All right, now give it up for Chris Welton, a top-performing coach, author, speaker, 30 years of experience, helping people turn adversity into achievement. But what I love about Chris is he works on the 3 M's. Mindset, motivation, and momentum to drive some serious results. Welcome, Chris Welton. He always makes me feel shorter than I already am when Welton comes right next to me. So keep your distance from me, Welton. Keep your distance. Now, from Consolidated Coaching, Scott Groves, a former top producer, loan officer, turned elite coach, author, and podcaster. Scott's known for his straight talk, proven systems, and strategies that fuel real growth. Welcome, Scott Groves. And by the way, Scott told me he wears a suit now officially 3 times. Funerals, weddings, and Battle of the Coaches. So he's in a suit coat today. Thank you, Scott. And finally, a friend, a great coach, Laura Locke has over 20 years of experience. Laura built a successful coaching, mentoring loan officers to raise higher. She leads with focus, creativity, and having a heart to help each and every loan officer. And welcome, Laura Locke. So here's how it's going to work. I'm like trying to trick them. So we're going to have 4 rounds today, okay? 4 rounds. First round, second round, and third round are going to be random questions we're going to be asking the coaches. They're going to get a few minutes to be able to answer each and every question. The final round, they're going to give a 6-minute topic on what does it look like in hiring a coach in 2026 and why is it crucial? And so we're going to do 3 rounds of questions and a final talk. Now remember, on the screen, you're going to see how to vote. You can either use the scan code or you can take the number and text in the number, keyword, NAM battle, and then add the space with the first letter of your favorite contestant. Amir's A, Chris C, Laura L, and Scott is S. So if you guys are ready, and you're ready to vote, and you've got your phones, because I know everybody uses their phones, and you're like, we're addicted to it. Let's start the battle of the coaches. Round 1. Chris, I think it's a big topic today that we're coaching on, but like, what is the most effective way? I read my cue card. You ready for this? I've already screwed this up. I promised myself I wouldn't. What is the most effective way to get in the right room and grow my business?
Well, the first thing I do teach inside my coaching practice is a thing called the One Jordan strategy. I'll be very brief with that. The One Jordan strategy is I find someone that I want to connect with. I get their shoe size. I send them one Jordan shoe and a handwritten note. It says, if you want the other shoe, give me a call. Now, that's one of the reasons I'm on stage today. Okay, and one of the reasons I've gotten in the rooms that have changed the trajectory of my career. But more importantly, what it comes down to is, what makes you unique? What makes you different? We want to get invited into rooms, not just get into them, right? So I would challenge you to look at your practice, look at what you're successful in, and figure out a way to partner with other individuals to get in those rooms. Look, this is what I see right now. And remember in high school when everybody wanted to be the same, like you didn't want to be different? Well, I feel like that's what's going on in the mortgage space right now. Everybody wants to be the same. Everybody does the same videos, has the same scripts. But the ones that are winning at a high level are the ones that are being unique, bold, and different. So my strategy, One Jordan, was unique, bold, and different, and it worked for me. But what's your strategy going to be? Is there something that you can reach out to someone with? You can take the One Jordan strategy and run with it. Love for you to do that. But what it comes down to is, how unique can I be to separate myself from the competition, to get in the rooms to meet the people that I want to meet? The second part of that is, be very dialed in on who it is you want to meet. Create a list of the people you want to connect with. I created my list sitting at an airport one time for an 8-hour delay on who I wanted to connect with. And again, it has changed the trajectory of my career by getting in those rooms. Those rooms will change everything.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris.
Good job, Chris. Good job.
All right, this next question's for Scott. How do I stay consistent in my mortgage career? I mean, Scott, we see yo-yos each and every day. Yeah. Yo-yos happen. I stinking hate them. I think we should send every loan officer a yo-yo to remind them. But how do we eliminate the yo-yos in a mortgage career?
Yeah, I mean, this is the key of coaching, right? So we have the saying in our coaching business that it's better to be consistently good than occasionally great. It's better to be consistently good than occasionally great. And I think every loan officer tries to save the day. I'm going to have the giant client appreciation party. I'm going to do this lunch and learn with 100 people. It's like, no, you're not. If you haven't done those consistent activities and flex that muscle previously to do the little things, you're never going to be able to do the great things and the big things. And we're coming up on New Year's, and we're going to see it, right? You try to go to the gym on January 2nd, and there's some fat fuck, no offense, who's trying to make up a whole year worth of exercise one day on the treadmill running a marathon, right? And you're just not going to do it, right? I'd much rather see somebody that's trying to focus on their fitness or their business, just do the little things. Like, you're way better off going for a walk around the block twice at lunch than you are, January 2nd, I'm going to totally change my life. You're not going to do it. So the consistency comes from those small daily habits, right? If you've never made 50 sales calls in a day, you're either A, not going to do it, or B, you're going to do it for 2 or 3 weeks and then burn out. I'd much rather take a coaching client and be like, hey man, when you pour that second cup of coffee, make a sales call, because then the second call gets easier and then the third call gets easier. But this idea that you're just going to wake up one day or come away from this event super motivated, super committed and be like, I'm going to change the world, I'm going to do all this great stuff. No, you're not. You have to work on the consistently good things so you can eventually make a great career over time. Sorry about the cussing.
Yeah.
That's all right. It's 50 burpees. We're going to do them later today.
I'll do 'em later.
No big deal. And I think he can handle it. All right, number 2.
3.
Laura? I love this topic, and I think that it is a big topic for a coach. But what does 1% better mean to you?
Yeah. So look, comparison is a thief of all joy. Sometimes you do too much because you're comparing. Sometimes you do too little. It really brings you down. And so, especially in our industry, we're comparing followers, we're comparing numbers, we're comparing awards, we're comparing everything. Well, in my coaching company, in the core, we do not believe in comparison. We believe in putting our blinders on. And when we put our blinders on, we see a path straight forward, and we see that playbook lined out right in front of us. And so it takes the overwhelming feeling out of it. So I'll give you 2 tactics. So getting 1% better operationally. I tell my students every morning, I want you to sit down and I want you to have a 30-minute meeting with yourself. And in that 30-minute meeting, I want you to think through the failures you had yesterday, those facepalm moments, what you could have done better. And I want you to keep a rolling list of them. It's very humbling, yes, I know. But every day you're going to pick one of those things, and it could take you the entire week to do it, or you could do a bunch of those things, and you're operationally going to get better over time. It's like compounding interest. Whereas sales-wise, in the core, we teach the hand of business. In the hand of business, we're always touching it. We're always nurturing it. This is our VIPs. This is our past clients. This is social media. These are our agents. And at first, it's super overwhelming and chaotic, and you haven't figured out your sales voice yet, how to nurture these people. When I got into the core, it was like, call your top 40. And I had to figure out what that looked like, the structure of it. Okay, we're going to call about leads and pre-approvals. We're going to give them a theme of the week. We're going to invite them to something. And over time, that relationship built and built and built. And then all of a sudden, the chaos is taken out of it. In the core, we do not believe in that sparkly, shiny object in front of us. We believe in doing those hard fixes. So 1% better is not motivation, but it's structure over time, and structure over time wins every time.
Great. Awesome. Okay, Amir.
Okay.
Whoa. Isn't this like the topic of the year and coming and even getting to be more of a topic? But how can I use AI to grow my business in 2026?
Okay, I did this last year, so I'm okay eating into my shot clock. I just want to thank you, Chris, for inviting me back. I'm so honored to be on this stage with these amazing people. I know them all pretty well personally. I'm getting to know them. And when I went on this journey for coaching, I'm so honored to be here, man. I feel so grateful. So just thank you. But this AI, right? Let me give you a little Amir intelligence, okay? I think there's this echo chamber, this fear mongering of AI. And I just laugh because it reminds me of my mom 20 years ago when the internet came out. She's like, oh my God, the internet is the devil, you know? And now she's just putting her credit card on Amazon every single day. Postal workers freaked out when, email came out. Underwriters freaked out when AUS, DULP came out. It all worked out, man, right? So I think AI, there's 2 ways that I'm seeing LOs really embrace it. Number 1 is for creating content, right? They're creating incredible email newsletters that go out to their realtors, their financial advisors, their closed database, because email newsletters still work. So it helps them just come up with the copywriting to be seen before and after they're known, trusted, and loved. Additionally, with AI, I find some of the best loan officers are using it to just almost supercharge their business up front from a cash, credit, capacity, collateral standpoint. They're able to create their investor guidelines, upload tax returns, and just get faster decisions when it comes to structuring their loans. I'm really excited for AI because I do believe it's going to supercharge a lot of us in this room. I think people will still want to talk to you and to me and to us, right? AI is not going to replace us, but it will absolutely augment us. And I see new technology coming out every single day that's going to allow us to get a competitive advantage. What I would tell you is I encourage all of you to get your brand out there because people are not Googling anymore. They're ChatGPTing us. We have to be on Reddit. We have to be on Google reviews. We have to be everywhere. So when people search, ChatGPT in these places will put you up in the rankings and say, hey, if things are equal, a Clarence Ferguson's the one you want to go with. So keep that in mind.
Great. Awesome. Okay, round 2. Scott, you've got the first question. We all make money by this topic. So the question is, how do I increase my leads in 2026?
You know, it's kind of interesting coming from a guy that wrote a book on lead generation. I'm going to take a little bit of a contrarian approach here that I don't think most loan officers need more leads. There's a saying that I love. I actually have it on a little placard above my desk that says, it's better to retain what you've already obtained than create something new. It's better to retain what you have already obtained versus create something new. And I'm all about lead generation. I love the idea. I'm stealing this Jordan thing. I'm going to do some AI stuff. But the reality is most loan officers don't have a good system to track their conversion rates. So we're real big with the 5 C's. So it's how many calls, sales calls are you making? How many contacts, aka how many leads did you get? How many credit reports did you pull? That's probably the best leading indicator of where your business is going to be in 60 days. And then how many contracts and how many closings did you get? So the problem is people are just constantly trying to reinvent the wheel instead of saying, man, if I just converted introduction to application by 10 or 20%, that would give me all of my financial goals that I'm trying to achieve without having to go continue to do more and more and more. Everybody in this room at some point has probably said, yep, this is the year I'm going to do annual mortgage reviews. And then 10 years later, this is the year I'm going to do annual mortgage reviews. And the reality is we're ignoring the people either in the pre-approval stage or our past clients who have already raised their hand and said that they want to work with you and they trust you. And so however you systematize that in coaching, which we have some ideas for that, you've got to be tracking those 5 C's every week to see what your conversion, your pull-through rate is, because that's how a coach can help you say, okay, here's where we've got some gaps. Where do we get some gains? Because all of you probably have enough leads and enough past clients. You just need to convert the ones that you have. So it's kind of like, why reinvent the wheel when you can just take the wheel you have, put it up on its side, and like roll it down the field?
Good. Awesome. Laura?
Right.
With so many borrowers being shopped,
Yes.
like I know we've got some help on the triggers, but being shopped, what tactics would you do to help you stand out?
So yeah, it's the most annoying thing ever. You finally get a lead, you build the rapport with an agent, you finally get the lead, you chase down the lead, you start chasing the docs, you do all the scenarios, 90 days later, they're in contract and now they're shopping you. So when I coach, what I start off asking every student is, what do you need to get out of this call to make it worth it for you? And this question actually comes up the most. And I live in Southern California, and in Southern California, we get shopped a lot. So I have spent the last couple of years obsessing about this. So I'm going to give you 3 tactics. Number 1, and some of these you really should be writing down. Number 1, you should know your avatar. It sounds very simple, but knowing your avatar, if you have a social presence, if you have a presence on Google, you're going to get people that call you to say, hey, I want to shop the rates, or I want to know what your rates are. That is not my client. My client in the business I'm in the coaching program that I'm in, they are a warm lead. They're a referral-based lead. So number 2, and this is one of the hugest things, what the core taught me is always do a triangle of trust. So the way I like to be referred is extraordinarily important. I like to be referred via group text. What a triangle of trust says, it says that the client trusts the agent trusts me, therefore the client should trust me. So my second tactic of doing that group text then lines it up for my third tactic, and this is where the money's at. So my third tactic, I call it my mortgage board game. Now everybody's speed to lead, speed to lead, speed to lead. I'm not. These are warm leads. I'm all about quality. My first interaction with that client, I want to get them on a Zoom call. That's my first call. I do not want it to be a normal phone call because I want to build rapport. I'm building rapport. I'm going over goals and dreams. I'm going over the benefits of homeownership right then and there. I am going over, we're going to do a pre-approval meeting, and an in-contract meeting, and a closing meeting. We're doing all of these meetings with you. I'm setting up that I'm a referral-based business, and I'm setting up that I'm going to close on time, and there's no surprises. I am setting it up so when I get to my closing meeting, and I ask, who do you know that I can help next? Then they're a cheerleader for me. So you could look at my Google reviews, go to Lock Your Loan, and you could see them. You could see the reviews, the cheerleaders that I have, and it takes from a scarcity mindset of being shopped to doing the activity, no longer being shopped. I rarely get shopped, to a servant's heart, to where now I can say I've had over 150 current client pre-approved referrals that I've been able to give back to my agents because of my dialed in process.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura. Okay, Amir, let's see what's up for you.
All right, let's see.
Besides realtors and my database, what other sources, oh, this is good, can I pursue to grow my business?
Okay, good stuff here. So realtors are important to pursue, right? But I want to remind everybody, you get to pick and choose who you do business with, okay? Don't forget that. We are more needed than the realtors. I want to be very clear on that. Scott mentioned a great point. We are taking a lot of painkillers right now because we're not staying on top of our closed database. I want all of us to refer to our past clients as current clients. Our database is under siege, so we got to protect that, okay? One way that we're like crushing it at Go is where I did this for years is financial advisors. I think it's very overlooked. I think it's blue ocean. The best thing about financial advisors is that they don't call you after hours. They don't call you on the weekends. They send you unrepresented buyers. They send you refis as well. And people trust their financial advisor more than their mortgage lender, right? And we've never been more needed. The young demographic millennials, they've been scarred by some of their parents' mismanagement of finances. They're going to gateway financial advisors like Northwestern Mutual, Mass Mutual, Edward Jones, and nobody is calling these people, right? So one tactic that we do is we just have you guys literally do a post on your Facebook and or LinkedIn. This is literally how you guys are going to make money right now. It's like, I'm looking for a really good financial advisor, drop your favorite one below, and people will light up your post. And then you will reach out to all these people, and at the end, I'm going to give you an amazing playbook for free 99 that you can use that will tell you what to say to these FAs. Once you can get 5 to 10, this is your opportunity to also have a lot more, freedom in your week where you're not just pounding realtors, right? Every single day on the phone, you're literally having a little more diversity. Financial advisors have a higher level of conversation with you, right? And they only refer you. They're not referring you with 2 or 3 other people. It is an absolutely underrated way to go out there and get business. And I'm going to give you guys a playbook at the end to help you guys do that.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, Amir. That's good. Okay, Chris. Last question for the second round here. Ooh, like everything that we're talking about and having tactics won't work unless you have this thing, which is, what does a winning mindset look like?
I keep getting all the hard ones. You're right on the financial advisor piece, by the way. That's a gold mine. First I would say, what does a winning mindset not look like? What's the opposite of a winning mindset? A losing mindset. How many of us in this room right now feel like we have a losing mindset? Probably a lot of us, right? It's a challenging market, or at least we feel like it is. So the first thing I'd evaluate is, how do I get out of that losing mindset rut? And I would start asking myself questions like, when was the last time I won? What did it feel like? Because we can't get back to winning again if we don't remember what it felt like originally, right? How can I change that right now? If I decided to go from losing mindset to winning mindset today, what would I do? Well, the first thing I would do is ask myself a question. How do I respond when adversity hits? The next question I ask myself is, how do I show up when I don't feel like showing up? Do I have a standard elevated high enough to outweigh my feelings so I show up with a winning mindset every day? Then I would create structure in the morning to build my winning day. And it's simple stuff. Most of you have a routine whether you know it or not. But I would challenge you to have something in the morning you could count as wins. Stack them early and often and create a winning streak as the day goes on. And then you're going to have a winning mindset because you're going to win days consistently, right? And I'm fortunate enough to coach several LOs that are in the top 1%, okay? And what they all have in common is a routine and a winning mindset. And when deals blow up, things go south, they figure out a way to learn from them and move on. So again, the first step to creating a winning mindset is to not have a losing mindset. Stop listening to the people around you that are doing less than you. Those aren't the people I'm going to hang around. And control what you bring into your mind when you're listening to YouTube or music or whatever that is. Only bring in stuff that's going to motivate you and help you win.
Bravo. That's good. Awesome. Okay, round 3. This is the last of our questions, and then we're going to get into their talks. Laura, let's start with you. Oh, here it comes again. What's more important, AI or you?
Okay, so first of all, I have to admit, I'm a big techie nerd. My husband is back there. He can attest to it. I am playing with AI constantly. In fact, this fun little outfit I put together, I created a little server that pulls my calendar, that pulls the weather and knows all of my outfits, checks my seasonal coloring, and creates the outfit for me.
Oh my gosh.
I like AI.
Wow.
Now, with that said, I'm an obsessive personality. I can go down rabbit holes. I've done this my entire life. It's been really important for me to have bumper cars around that, to have my fellow coaches around me, like saying, okay, come back, Laura. It's really cool what you did, but come back in it, come back in it. AI is great, but AI is an operational lift. We are in a relationship business, and those connections can never fail. Now, as far as operational lifts, I can tell you a little bit, maybe slightly nerdy. Rick's going to yell at me of what I'm geeking out to right now. I've built a closed-based AI server, and that AI server connects into my call transcripts, my text, my emails, my notes, all of that. It's rating me on my calls. Like, I have the core sales book uploaded, so it's telling me how I'm doing. It's giving me the disc of the client, the disc personality, so I can communicate to them differently. It's yelling at me or the team anytime we haven't followed up with the client appropriately. If it's been like a year since that client, I can talk to it really quickly, the client's on the phone, and I get the whole story right then and there. So AI is a huge operational lift. You could build your brand tone in it, so if it's a day you don't feel like writing, it's already trained. It can rebut appraisals for you. AI, all things great operationally. You can tell how passionate I am about it, but it will not replace a human interaction, because we as humans, we like that belly to belly. We like that face to face. So AI or you, no. It's AI powered by you or you powered by AI. It's just not.
Love that.
Yep.
Okay, Amir, what do we got here?
Ooh, how do I fall back in love?
How do I fall back in love with mortgage?
I just want to say one thing. If AI transcribes everything I did, it would say you need a second therapist. That'd be scary,
too,
man.
me too.
All right. How do I fall back in love with the mortgage business? Okay, so I was just kind of thinking about this question a couple seconds ago. I've been married 9 years. I'm going to be married 10 years next year, all right? And how I stay in love with my wife, or how I keep her to stay in love with me, is like date nights, right? I'm like, I got to work at this relationship and keep finding out what I love about my wife, and hopefully she still loves me, and it's working pretty good so far, right? With the mortgage business, this has been a rough last 2-3 years, guys. Like, let's be honest, 20 plus 2 years I'm doing this, it's been hard. So how I've found little moments of falling back in love is coming to places like this, hanging out with community, hanging out with really good people that want to learn. We fall in love together, right? So being around people that are upward minded. Second is we have to find the specific things in the industry that we really enjoy. So for a while, I tried to go after reverse mortgages, but I'm too hyper to work with seniors. Then I got my certified divorce lending professional designation. I'm like, all these divorcees are so like sad. I don't want to work with them. Then 203K, I'm like, there's so many things going on, right? I can't keep up with this. So I just went after 2 to 4 unit financing, condo financing, and I was like, I'm really good at this. I enjoy this. And I'm like, okay, I can talk about this. I fell in love with certain parts of the business. The other thing that's really helped me is I get into moments where I get, down. And so I've written 1-year stories in my life, and I have a lot of people in my community do the same thing, because we have to play therapists as coaches right now. We have to really lead with empathy. So I say, dude, let's write a 1-year story around what you want your life to look like in a year from now. I'll share with you mine, which is very vulnerable. I have it in the community. Share with me mine. Let's get excited about how you want your life to look spiritually, emotionally, mentally, all these things. Because at the end of the day, we have to fall in love with who we are as people, and you guys are all loved. And design it and read that every morning to be like, wow, this really excites me. This pulls me into the future. I can fall back in love with what I'm doing.
That's cool. That's great. Awesome. Thank you, Amir.
That's a deep question there, man.
I
Deep
know.
question.
And that's hard to answer in 2 minutes, by the way. That's all right, Chris. Let's see what we got. Oh boy. Probably my favorite question. If I haven't connected with my database in a while, what's the best way, Chris, for me to re-engage?
Well, the first thing I would do is stop calling it a database.
Yeah.
Right? My friend Chris calls it a portfolio, so let's call it a portfolio. So if I haven't connected with my portfolio in a while, how many people do you have in your portfolio, Jason? How many?
Over 1,000.
Over 1,000. All right, so we got over 1,000. If you're not getting at least 100 deals a year from your portfolio, you're not working it right. The truth is, most people don't care about it. They don't care about what's in their portfolio. It's just a list of names. So I would ask you next is, what do you know about everybody in there? How can you create that personal touch? Because what we want most in this world right now, especially with all the AI, is connection, right? We want connection. And the one thing AI can't do is out-human you. So when it comes to your database, you have to be human and make those personal connections with them. And what I would challenge you to do is go back through it, make sure you have the contact points in there and understand who those people are. Create separate funnels. One of my clients, what we do is we have it set up as all these people live in this community. All these people are in this type of work. All these people have this type of loan. Instead of sending out these mass touch points, which I call out of touch points, they don't want you to tell them to turn their clock back or happy birthday or it's Memorial Day. They want to know something substantial that can help them in their financial position. That's what they want from you. They don't need you calling them and telling them anything else. The truth is most of you don't care about your database. Maybe it's time you start caring about it because it's under attack. Someone's going to take it from you. And as someone who coaches very high producing originators, they crush it with their portfolio. Crush it. I've got a client right now that has over 40 million in the pipeline from his portfolio doing annual mortgage reviews. It's going to close between now and the end of the year. All because he touches it regularly.
Good. Awesome. Thank you, Chris. Okay, Scott, you got the last question here. Let's see what we got. What steps should I take to successfully navigate this challenging market? How do I overcome this market?
You know, I feel like I'm being a little bit of a contrarian today. That's not by design, Chris. Sorry about that. I guess I'm just the odd duck here. I don't think we're in a challenging market. Let me rephrase that. I don't think we're in a market that's any more challenging than any other time in the mortgage industry. You know, 2000 to 2005, it's like you had to know every non-QM and bank statement and no-doc program because there's 800 of them out there. And if you didn't know all those programs, somebody would have some little niche where you would lose the deal over rate because they were doing something different. And then from 2008 to 2012, it was a challenging market because they didn't want to do loans even for qualified people. And then 2014 to 2019, you know, comps were not able to keep up with the actual appreciation in property value. And then during COVID, everybody was bitching about, I got too many deals and not enough staff and not enough support, right? So it's like, there's always some challenge in the market. And if you were here for Barry Habib's presentation, you know, we're down 50% in licensed loan officers. Half of those people aren't even doing more than $3 million a month, which means your competition has gone from 300,000 registered loan officers down to about 40 or 50,000 that are actually doing business. You know, that's depending on how you look at it, 60, 70, 80% drop in competition. Available transactions are not down by 70%. But I think the challenge is us as loan officers, a lot of us, quite frankly, have gotten lazy and we're waiting around for rates to go down or we're treading water off of our portfolio of clients that give us a couple loans a month to continue to eat and pay our bills. You know, I've got a loan officer in our coaching program. He's closing 47 deals this month with 2 assistants. You talk to him, there is no challenges. The only challenge is how do I get from 47 to 87? And so I think it's really a mindset shift where it's like every market is going to be challenging for one reason or another. It's like we've got to get over the bullshit excuses and get back to work.
Right. Thank you. That's good. All right, final round. If you haven't started voting, make sure you do so. If you've heard something that inspired you or something that you could bring back, make sure that you guys vote so that we can give this cool guitar away and we can king or queen the battle of coaches. So let's start with, we're going to be carrying a cool topic, which is why hiring a coach in 2026 is crucial. And let's start with our reigning champion from last year, Amir.
All right, thank you. This is a question I was asked last year. I've been really just thinking about it, praying about it, how I want to just compact this. So a few of you in here know my story, and a few of you do not, okay? So I come from a war-torn country. In 1985, my mom and dad left in the middle of an 8-year war. 1 million people died in that war, and most of them were my country people. And there were bomb sirens going off, bombs falling over our head, and mom and dad packed up the bags, took me, I was the only child, and we left, everybody. We went to London, parents couldn't get employment there. We went to San Francisco, parents couldn't get employment there, and we landed in Chicago. I'm just, first of all, so grateful to this country, and I just think about it, like what it's done for my family. My mom could not get a job at McDonald's. Okay, she was a teacher. My dad was a shoe salesman making $3.75 an hour. I did not speak English. We lived in a 1-bedroom, 500 square foot apartment. I moved like 5 times before the age of 12. I was bullied. When I got to high school, I had a 1.7 GPA. I did not graduate. 2 things happened to me at that time. I met an amazing pastor at a church who just said, I believe in you. And I had a high school counselor who graduated me and said, son, real school starts after school ends. I can see you're having negative self-talk. Mentorship and coaching comes in at times when we feel like the whole world is against us, and they just speak these words that just hit us at that moment where we're like, man, I need to hear that. That's what a lot of coaching and mentorship does. Fast forward, I drop out of college, and I'm having this negative self-talk. I mean, you're a loser, you're just a broke immigrant kid, like you're not gonna go anywhere. And I was broken in 2012 around my PEMS, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. And I went to an event just like this. I said, okay, I had read this book called Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Have you guys all, have anyone heard of that book? Okay. Yeah. And it's like, go to a mastermind. And I'm like, okay. So I bought the ticket, went to Vegas, and all these guys were coming on stage that were really successful. And one after another, they were coming on, and I remember sitting front row, and I'm like, man, this guy makes me feel like a piece of shit. This guy is bullshitting. This guy's not giving me like what I need to know, and I'm like sinking in my seat. I'm like, damn it, and I'm comparing myself. It was a very dark moment in my life. And then one gentleman came on stage, and he's like, here's how you make $1 million a year and 40 hours a week, and he gave all the tactic. And I felt like a born-again mortgage Christian. I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. I almost sprained my ankle tackling him off the stage. I said, if you tell me to jump, I'll pull out a trampoline. You just tell me what to do, and I'll do it. At that time, I was in a hotel room in Scottsdale on vacation with my now wife, and I remember I did not leave the hotel room. I'm barely doing 3-4 loans a month, and I'm onboarding leads, checking emails, getting yelled at by realtors, issuing pre-approval letters, putting out fires. It was terrible. And I said, God, like, if you just show me the way and put the right people in my path, I will do whatever I got to do to pay it forward. And I remember, that day I read a passage called, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another, Proverbs 27:17, and this is what the go flag means. It's 2 people together will go farther. And so I joined the coaching company, I did everything they said. Fast forward in 2019, I go on vacation with my wife, the same person I was in Scottsdale that was couldn't leave the hotel room. And my team had messaged me and said, Amir, boss, we love you. We're closing 17 million in production this month, and have a great time. You deserve it. I just remember taking a photo. If you guys have been on my webinar, I just burst out crying, right? I'm like, the gratitude I had. And I said, you know what? It should not take people this long. It should not take people this long. So I said, what do you want me to do, God? You tell me. And that same mentor I saw on stage said, Amir, in life you'll have a job, a career, and a calling. And I said, well, how do I know if it's a calling? He says, because it's going to keep calling you, dummy. Right? And so I just got called to do this these last 3-4 years, and it's been an amazing journey. At one point when I was doing tons of loans, the fulfillment wasn't there, right? And now I'm on a mortgage mission from God to multiply all of you here, okay? This is, in my opinion, a challenging time. It's not easy. Like, I was one of you out there doing 2, 3, 4, maybe 7, 8 loans a month. We have to do with other people that A, care about us, have the success, and have the ability to transfer that knowledge. So here's what I've done. I want you guys to just pull out your phone, and I want you to scan this, okay? I'm telling you, do not do that. Do not scan this. I put almost 30 hours. I told my wife, you gotta bear with me. I'm gonna put together the most epic playbooks for my broker nation. Literally how to go after financial advisors. Like, this might be in a book one day. I don't want any of you walking out of here and not understanding how to put these things in motion. What I'll leave you with is this, okay? Motivation without education is discouragement. Education without accountability is disappointment. We have to be around people that have the results that we want, that care enough about us, and equip us with the tactics that will not only allow us to be successful at work, but to be successful at home. That is the tip I'm on right now. Because if we're not winning at everything that matters, we're not winning at anything. Y'all feel me on that? I want you guys to win at home and at work, right? So these playbooks will allow you to immediately go back, to have some more success, And what I'll say, guys, is iron truly does sharpen iron. I'm a walking example. Do not take advice from people that you wouldn't trade places with, because most people's advice is superior to their actions. We walk the talk every day at Go. It's been an honor to serve LO Nation. Thank you.
Whoa, awesome. Okay, next, let's go with Chris.
Oh, that was a great spot to be picked in, wasn't it? All right. So coaching for 2026. Truth is, I'm not sure that coaching may be what you actually need. You know, a lot of us, I believe, today are looking for an easy button. Maybe we're looking for somebody to do the work for us. Maybe we're looking for that next script or that next instant tactic that's going to take us to the next level. And that's not what coaching's about. Coaching really comes down to figuring out what your why and your purpose are, which I call my burn, and figuring out a way to get them to ignite regularly to grow everything in your life. Coaching saved my life from an early age. Being born the son of a drug addict with a limb difference, a coach saved my life at a young age and taught me how to play baseball. Baseball was the reason why I learned confidence early on. So when I had the opportunity to sit in the coach's chair for the first time, I felt like it was the highest honor you could possibly give me besides being a husband and a father. Now, a lot of you, again, looking for the easy button, looking for a shortcut to get to that next level. But I would ask you, what are you doing every day to make sure you get where you want to go? And I think you have one of three choices when it comes to coaching. First one is, do nothing. Don't scan his QR code. Don't scan my QR code. Just sit back. And next year, sit in the same spot you are today with maybe more of a challenging outcome. Second would be you could sign up for maybe some type of group program, some type of community, and check it off your box and go around and tell everybody you're coached. The third one would be go pro. Hire a pro coach because it's a pro move. Make sure you evaluate them. Make sure you look into who they are and what you want them to be. And make sure it's going to be somebody that pushes you. Because what I know for sure is that if you're not happy with where you are right now, you need to think and act differently to get where you want to go. And too many of us aren't willing to make that change to think and act differently. And I know I hear it a lot, hey, coaching's expensive. It is. But stop looking at it as an expense and start looking at it as an investment. Because if you're not getting 10 or 20x from what you're putting into coaching, you're in the wrong program or you shouldn't be coached. It's that simple. You know, we all are super successful coaches up here on stage. We could all share all the wins we have with all of our clients. But what I tell you is the winning starts with you. It starts with you making a decision that you want to be great, that you want to do something more than what you are right now. You want to serve your family at a higher level. Now, I left the corporate mortgage space in 2023 because the reality was only 10% of the people I wanted to work with wanted to be great. The other 90% wanted the paycheck. And I got a feeling that when you booked your airfare to get here today, over the weekend, or for the whole weekend, and spent all this money, you came here to learn something to be great, to make a difference, right? Well, there's two types of people in this room. One type is they came here to be great, and they're going to learn and take notes and go home and execute. The other one is their family life isn't that great, so they came to Vegas to escape. And I've been both. I've been both, honestly, right? So the solution to both those is coaching. It is. How can we give you the framework to win at work so you can continue to win at home? And I love what Amir says. Amir's a very dear friend of mine. In making sure that we have the stability in our lives with our family. That's one of the first things we talk about with my clients. What's home life look like? Does your spouse buy into you coaching? Now, I have what's called a comma rule in my family for a reason. Anytime we spend over something with a comma in it, we got to sign off on it together because I like to buy very expensive shoes and they always have commas in them. So I have a lot of shoes that are $999. But make sure your spouse is buying into you being in the coaching program. Make sure they understand what that looks like because you're going to start talking and acting differently. And if they're not accepting that from you, it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge, right? And I'll share a story with you about one of my clients from South Florida. I texted him today, make sure I could use his name, and I didn't have to. And he said, you can use my name anytime you want. The gentleman's name is John Diggs. John had a tough life, struggling with drinking a little bit, and wasn't getting everything put together, and last year had a decent year in the mortgage space. He did 37 million. I can tell you this morning when he texted me his updated numbers, he's closed his 92 million as of this morning. 92 million in a challenging market. 37 to 92. And you know what the major difference is? The major difference is I taught him how to remove the ceiling he had put on himself because he didn't know what was possible. Now, I used to come to the core events and other events with Jason, who's sitting in the second row, and it would amaze me because I would see people doing numbers like I'd never seen before. I remember the first time I saw a guy named Gavin Ekstrom run across the stage and did a crazy dance to Eminem. And then they showed how much money he made, and I danced like Eminem too, if I saw that much money, right? Like I just would. But when you put yourself in rooms like this, it only raises what you're capable of doing and see what the reality is. If you're only focusing on that small fish bowl of a company you work for, the small broker shop, you have no idea what's possible. And this isn't about me trying to build up what I'm doing with my clients right now, but I can tell you, out of all my one-on-one VIP clients, based off the numbers that Barry showed today, I only have one that's going to be out of the top 1% this year. None of them were in the top 1% last year, based off those numbers. Only one. And the difference is how they show up to the calls, how they become accountable, how they have the buy-in from their family, and how they think and act differently. I know this to be true. When it's all said and done, more will be said than done.
Awesome. Thank you. It's pretty cool. Scott?
Yeah, man. I'm a simpleton. There's my QR code. So, you know, the fitness industry, right, is a $1 trillion industry telling people to sleep more, drink more water, move their body, don't eat empty carbs. But the reality is there's personal trainers and there's dietitians and whatnot, because a lot of times adults don't need to learn anything new. We just need to be reminded of what's true. And especially in the social media, the AI, all of the stuff that we're exposed to, a lot of times we get this, I call it SOS, shiny object syndrome of, let me go try this for 6 months, and then I'm gonna try this for 3 months, and then I'm gonna try this for 6 months. And the problem is you never get enough consistency in one thing, because there's a lot of ways to win in this industry, that's going to actually move you to the next level. So a lot of what coaching is about is helping you individually find what's true for you instead of just trying to find the new thing, right? Because consistency works. And when I think about what we're all doing up here, and I love all these people, by the way, even though we just met, I still love you. I love Amir. Like when he was starting his coaching program, we talked, he's just such an open guy, gave me all of the stuff that he was gonna be coaching and vice versa. We're like, hey, we just wanna help more people because I cuss a lot. So maybe there'll be somebody that's better for you than me.
So you love me the most.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to read Chris's book Behind the Stage as soon as we're done. But I want to give you a framework for evaluating coaching, because then I think you can make a good decision if coaching is even right for you. And I would use this framework for everything out there in the booth and everything online that you might buy. And there's kind of 3 problems. There's the problems with us, there's the problems with coaching, and there's the problem with you, right? And so if we think about it in coaching, if I can articulate the problem better than you can, you'll just assume I have the answer. And the truth is you're probably coming to the answer yourself, right? So here's the 3 problems. I'll start with us. You shouldn't pick your coach, myself, any of these wonderful people, based on like cult of personality, because all of us have some unique gift that was either honed or trained or was just naturally born in us, right? Like 70% of any audience won't get up on stage, right? So you don't want to look to your coach as I'm going to be just like that person. You want to find a coach like the 4 on this stage that can help you be the best version of your person. I want to talk a little bit about the modern coaching paradigm, and I'm glad that I like all these people up here because they don't fall into this bucket. But the modern coaching paradigm is like this ascension model, where coaches need to make more money. So it's like, hey, you're going to start here at $300 or $400 and we're going to make you sign a contract, which we don't have because if I'm not adding value, I don't want your money. So then we're going to start you at $300 or $400. And then after 70% of people fall out, we're going to move you to $1,000. And then after 70 people fall out, we're going to move you to $3,000. And then they get to this like curated group of people paying $3,000 a month for coaching. And then the coaching program goes, hey, look at how great we are. It's kind of like the Stanford business model of college, right? Stanford Business School takes the children of people from Silicon Valley that are already the brightest, already went to Harvard, they're already the richest, they're already the most well-connected. They put them all at Stanford Business School. Those people go on to do great things. And then Stanford or Harvard Business School says, look at how great our program is. It's like, Bitch, those people were going to do great things anyway. Like, you didn't do anything great. And so where I think I really excel and where I know all four of these people excel is like, I would love it if everybody in here was a $100 million producer. But a lot of times, because coaches are working on this ascension model, they forget about the guy that's doing 3 or 4 loans a month, or the gal that's doing 3 or 4 loans a month, who if they go to 7 loans a month, that's life-changing money for them. That's the difference between your kid going to public school or private school. That's the difference between you taking European vacation with your kids or, getting in the Studebaker and like trying to go to the mountains. And so there is a problem overall in all industries with coaching. And I would just be thinking about that as you get into a coaching program. And then if we're calling a spade, like let's talk about the problem with loan officers, right? And I alluded to the fact that this isn't a challenging market. That was a little tongue in cheek. I'm being a little contrarian. I know it is a challenging market, but I'm saying that there's always going to be challenges somewhere, right? And what most loan officers do is they show up for their day a little bit late and they look at their email, and your email is really a task list that somebody else has created for you, right? Imagine like you're a child and somebody's just telling you all day, this is when you have to go to class, and this is when you get to go to the bathroom, and this is when you're gonna get picked up by mom, and then this is when you're gonna go to soccer. A lot of us allow our email to treat us like children because it's a task list that somebody else has built for us. Or we just ignore everything and we pretend to be busy by playing on Instagram, and we're not really being productive. So I would say, if you can be reflective and honest with yourself of like, what are the problems within yourself that is preventing you from doing the daily habits, right? Because I hate business planning. I like daily habits because our daily habits make our reality, right? I can write down all day long, I'm going to lose 10 pounds this year. Well, guess what? I still have 13 to go because I didn't change. Some of you can do math. I didn't change the daily habits of like, dude, Scott, you got to give up the Dr. Pepper and the Oreos and you got to get to the gym every day. It's no different in our business. If you're the type of person that says, I'm going to make these sales calls, or I'm going to do these events, or I'm going to prospect, or I'm going to go to I love this, I'm going to steal this from you, my portfolio of past clients. You have to know that you are becoming the type of person. I'm so serious about this. I got a tattoo that says becoming on my arm because I come from a long line of men who basically gave up in their 40s and 50s and they just lived like a life of destitute until they finally died of a heart attack. And so what you have to understand is like, how am I working on becoming the type of person that does the things I say I'm going to do? Because you guys all know what to do. You don't need a coach if you're doing it. You need a coach if you can't find the commitment to stick to the things that you say you're going to do. And that's where anybody on the stage can help.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott. Okay, Laura, bring us home. You're last.
All right, I'm going to step away from the podium because I've got ants in my pants behind it. So the core is all about make more, give more, save more. It's not just a slogan. It's how we live our lives. It has changed many lives, including my own. So I wanted to share a little bit about my journey. So I was a broker. This was maybe 8-9 years ago. I was a broker, had been a broker for 15 years, very seasoned. I closed 3 to 5 loans a month. And a friend of mine, an agent who just hops around coaching companies, was like, hey, do this coaching company with me. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do this coaching company with you. And of course, he was a really great, aggressive sales guy. So he was like hounding me every day, do this coaching company, do this coaching company. So finally, after 2 weeks of him berating me, I gave in and I signed up for the core. So at this time, I was making a really good living. I was making about $150,000 a year. And I got the CD in, and the CD was Rick Ruby talking about a personal budget. And I listened to it on repeat, probably 4 or 5 times. Like I was an economics major. I do personal budgets. This is what I do, but this guy is teaching me a whole different set of rules to live by. That first year in that coaching program, I went from $150,000 to $250,000 by following the tactics they had simply on their CD. I went to the summit, which is a 3-day conference with so many tactics. It sounds like you went there a couple of times, Amir, and Chris, I always see you there.
Many times.
Many times. Many tactics. And so I go to the summit and I'm blown away, just mind like deer in headlights, blown away. So I sign up for level 3 and I had no business signing up for level 3. I was nervous. I was scared, all the things. When I signed up for level 3 that first year, I went from $250,000 to gross commission of $750,000 by following the playbook that they put in front of me. My highest grossing year was 2.7 million. So many tactics, so many coaches pouring into me that shaped the trajectory of my family's lives. Now let's talk about Save More. Save More is not just about money to me, it's about time. I'm a wife. I've been with my husband almost 30 years. I like spending time with him. He's my best friend. I'm a mom with 3 kids. That is my purpose in life, to be a mom. I just happen to do mortgages on the side. So yes, I was taught, save 20% and never touch it. It helped me put my oldest through UCLA. My husband got his MBA at UCLA. It helped him put through that. If we retired right now, we would be absolutely okay, because the core has kept me accountable by always watching what I'm saving in my personal budget. But at the same time, I had a coach pour into me for almost an entire year on how to time block to get my life back. Consistently, over and over, okay, you gotta shut your brain off. Again, I told you I was an obsessive person. You gotta shut your brain off. You gotta shut your brain off. This is how you go on vacation. This is how you schedule out vacations. Save More is not just about money. It's about time blocking. It's about balance, and it's the tactics to take it to the next level so you can be a wife, a mom, and a career person. Now, Give More, I'm going to share a special story with you. Give More has given me purpose in just this past year. It truly resonated with me, so I'm going to share a little bit of story about this. So my sister and I, we both have 3 kids. December of last year, you know, our middle sons, they were junior and senior in high school. It was December 19th. They just finished finals. They're planning out what their winter vacation looks like. And 17 and 18, rock climbing, we're doing this, that, and the other, and they're just goofballs. They're super excited. My nephew stepped on his rolling computer chair and a tragic accident happened. He was on Facebook or FaceTime with my son, and we lost him that day. It was 6 days before Christmas, 5 days after he turned 18. I absolutely love this little boy. So with that, you know, mortgages goes out the window. Who gives a crap about mortgages when you lose someone you love? So the core stepped in. They didn't just step in for me. They stepped in for my entire family. This community, it is a full community of people. I couldn't work for 3 months. I'd go back in January and I'd sit there and I'd call my husband. I'm like, I'm just staring. I can't read anything. The core coaches, the core community members called my team, helped out where they could. We got you, we got you, we got you. Rick calling me, Scott calling me, different coaches calling me, say, give yourself grace. You're overwhelmed right now. You have to grieve. On top of that, where the core community shines, within 3 days, my sister is a moderate to severe special ed teacher. There is no way she could go back to work. Those kids would depend on her if she did, and she just lost her son. So in 3 days' time, this community raised enough money where she didn't have to work for an entire year like that. They stood up for me, for my team. They did not let me fail. They supported me. So why do I think you should do coaching? One, you'll get tactics that you don't know yet. It'll help you truly make more. From a $150,000 broker to $2.7 million in 1 year. From a couple $100,000 in the bank between my husband and I, to nice cars, to a nice house, to savings, to, do we want to retire? No, I think we're still good. It changes the mindset. And to give more means to give purpose. And so what the core does, it's a 20-plus year coaching community. It has tactics upon tactics upon tactics. It gives you purpose. And when you go to climb that mountain, when you raise your hand and say, yeah, I want to try this, they come up to you, Chris. They grab your hand and they say, come with me. We got you. We're not going to let you go. So why do I think you need coaching? Because you will never experience a community like this. You will never understand what a legacy means until you have those coaches show you and teach you that very blind focus path right in front of you.
Wow. Well, first of all, we're finally to the end, but I'm so stinking proud of every one of these coaches that were vulnerable enough to come on this stage, to be able to have like a game, but then have it fun learning, and then just listening to them. I wish I was able to like take notes, because I'm like, oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. You guys killed it. So I'm so proud of each and every one. I don't care who wins. because I feel like we all won because of all your guys' tactics. So thank you. Thank you. We got 30 seconds to vote. They deserve your vote. They worked hard to be able to prepare to come here today. Please quickly go vote. You have 30 seconds, and then we're announcing the winner.
CD, my boy.
Yeah.
What an amazing thing, bro. I love it.
Great job.
It's good shit. Even with good shit, food ups. Thank you, guys. Scotty Z, my boy.
We appreciate you.
Bro, I love how many F-bombs.
We got 12, 11
That was amazing. Man, you're an exceptional speaker. I'm impressed.
Hey, that's very good. Sorry for your loss.
Oh.
Hey, great job.
Hey.
It's a pleasure being up here.
Who won? Battle of the Coaches. Here we have our proper CPA firm. Kevin Johnson. First of all, I don't know who's in this envelope, but I know each one of you guys deserve. I should have just done 4 guitars. Everybody wins, and we all go and have some nice lunch and go to the vendors. But here we go for the winner of the 2025 Battle of the Coaches. Now commercial. No. Amir Saeed.
Oh, gosh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, I'm gonna grab a picture of this.
Thank you. This is wild. I did not expect this. I just gotta tell you, Laura's incredible, huh? That was wild, man. That was exceptional, and I've known Scott and Chris a while. I'm just, man. I was never supposed to be here, man. Like, I never take these moments lightly. I just go back when I was that broke immigrant kid and I have no college degree, and I'm like, man, I can't believe I'm here right now. I give my all to Loan Officer Nation, and the greatest respect someone can get is a vote of their peers. I don't take this lightly, man. I'm just so grateful for this moment. I thank you, Chris, for always pouring into me, and I gotta tell you, these are amazing people. Whether you guys come to go or not, I just wanna compel you guys, join some sort of coaching community, whether it's with Laura, her story is unbelievable. I come from the core training. Scott, I just love how many F-bombs he dropped. What you see is what you get.
One F-bomb.
Just one, okay. And Chris, man, it's incredible what he's doing for people. So I just hope all of you today are able to just feel compelled to join one of us, because at the end of the day, the winner is you. This is cool, but I want all of you to see me in 2, 3, 4 years and tell me how Laura changed her life, and Scott or Chris or even me. So for LO Nation, baby, let's go! Woo!
Thank you guys.
Good job.
Thank you.
Congratulations, sir.
Thanks, bro.